Hey, you guys, welcome back to Ugh, You're So Good. This is part 2 of our conversation with Bobby Berk.
So good. How did you do it? How did you do it? You're so good.
What do you think it takes to be successful? Because then maybe that will give us a little insight into why you were so successful.
What I think it takes to be successful is the absolute refusal to accept no for an answer.
Yeah.
And the absolute refusal to ever give up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I had my stores, I mean, it was really hard sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, at one point I had a CFO who embezzled a bunch of money from the company and like put it in a downward spiral. And, you know, it's hard, but you can't give up. Like,
Yeah. Exactly.
To me, failure was never an option. And I think that's what it was. Failure
I was
is
going
not
to
an
say,
option.
like, just, again, I'm like drawing all these inferences on you that are not based in anything but literally your Wikipedia. But I feel...
Oh, God, I won't even read it because it's always so
I know,
crazy
mine's
and
weird
wrong.
too. I'm like, that's what
I
you're
have a question
focusing
too.
on. But,
That's the picture you chose?
But yeah. But what my guess is like if you don't have, if you like literally, it's like there's like that whole cute thing of like there's no plan B, but like if you literally don't have a plan B, then you there's no option but to make it work for you.
Like I knew I had been fired from every single job I had ever had. Working for myself was the only option.
Right.
You know,
Right.
And you know, when it came to the stores, I definitely did have kind of a fresh take on things and a new perspective on design.
Yeah.
And a different aesthetic that you didn't really see out there. You know, my store was probably one of the first stores out there that really embraced kind of the mid-century modern trend.
And
So
was that you like
Yes,
like was
that's
that your
what I wanna
vision?
know.
Like
When your website went viral and you're like, my website went really, really well. It
Yeah.
like blew up. I want to know what aspect, not the word gimmick, but like what on that website attracted people's
Right.
eyes, and what was it in your mind that thought of that? That's what fascinates me.
yeah.
So I always made my stores and my website the way I like to shop. I don't like department stores because department stores, you've got to go in and you've got to dig through all the stuff to find like the few good things.
Right.
I like a small boutique store where every single thing in there is great and you want everything.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did with my website. You know, there's so many websites out there that offer, you know, zillion things and you've got to scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll to find what you want. So I had a very specific design aesthetic and a very specific opinion on
And
how
it was
I think.
your taste.
Yeah, it was my taste.
So your taste is probably like the
That's kind of like okay.
Through
I read a book about Walt Disney, and
She's like in preparation.
not for this, just in my life.
Okay,
And-
first of all, quick break. I'm going to take a shot really quick. Cheers.
Oh my god, I'm not. But
mine's
cheers!
like-
I'm gonna do this prosecco that nobody no
My
one
tolerance
still
is
wants.
through the roof.
Oh, he's like a bartender on Watch What Happens Live.
Exactly.
Oh my God, are we doing the bartender moment? We'll do it.
Oh yeah, Mark is our bartender.
Dr. Doe's gonna
oh, yeah,
get
we
us
have
a
to do our
drink.
drinks.
Okay, before we talk about the Walt Disney book.
Yeah.
Wait a minute,
we'll
doesn't
come
Diet
back to
Coke
that.
give you a stroke now? Isn't that the
everything.
thing?
No, these are
Probably
all
does.
rumors that start. They're not true. I'm getting a little hammered.
I'm like, I smell toast.
All right, you guys, it's time for my sweet angel of a boyfriend / our mixologist on the show, Mark Manio, to make a drink.
Time for a drink. Made by Scott's boyfriend. Time to get wasted.
Okay, here's the thing. We had this idea for the podcast. Basically, we want to guess
a drink,
a drink that our guest is.
or that they'll like enjoy, and it'll fit with their personality. It'll feel right.
Yeah, if they were a drink.
So if this is wrong, you can mostly be mad at Scott because he actually knows you and I don't. So it's not really my fault. So
We thought you might be an appletini. React. He literally just gagged. No, okay.
So you texted me earlier and you said, what kind of alcohol do you like? And I responded, oh, I'm not picky, anything. And I almost then put anything but like sour apple pie.
that's so funny.
Oh my God,
I was
So-
like, no, nobody drinks that
Okay.
anymore. I don't need to put that.
So we failed.
We literally guessed that. That's
I literally said
so
full appletini. But I will say
funny.
that y'all said first, it's got to be like a fruity, fun moment.
That's what we thought.
Screwdriver.
That's
And then
what, that's
I
what we
like
guessed.
appletini, so I was like, and
All right,
we have so many
well,
parallelisms.
I'll
that
have
are-
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I want an appletini for sure.
do we?
So my Greek
No.
god hot Filipino
That's
boyfriend's about to make
Really
us
funny that
appletinis.
failed so
mahakita.
miserably.
Oh my God, you know my favorite Filipino term?
Do you know how to say that? Do you know what I just said to him?
No.
Means I love you.
Yeah, you should
I need to learn that.
Yeah.
All I know is
Mahakita.
giggle. Do you know giggle?
Kegels? I'm doing them right now.
Yes. I love the term Kegel, and I also love the term giggle. Giggle is a Filipino term that means like when you like love something so much.
Oh my God, that's me. Like cute aggression.
Like cute aggression.
Oh, I have that so bad.
Like when you see a dog and you're like, I want to
I
crush
literally
it.
get overwhelmed. Like I want to cut your hands off.
Do you remember?
Okay, that's a really weird example.
Do you remember on Despicable Me when the little girl had her fluffy like little unicorn and she's like, "It's so fluffy."
That's exactly what it is.
That's Jonathan's ringtone on my phone.
One of the things I learned from Walt Disney and from Steve Jobs, by the way, in his book.
Both very successful.
Yes, is they both like didn't give a fuck what anybody else was into. They weren't like, let's guess.
That is the key.
They weren't like,
That's the key.
this is what's hot right now. We're gonna try and make this thing that's hot.
Following a trend is a
They were
disaster.
like, everybody was anti them. They were like, that is a horrible idea. They're like, this is what I like.
Yeah,
This
I
is
remember
my
you-
aesthetic. This is my taste. And I have taken that on, and that is honestly my only
Powerful.
2019 goal of musically and artistically. All I want to make, like this podcast, is stuff that I enjoy. I think is great because I can't guess. And my guess is
And if you try to
that
craft
that's what
it, you're
you
lost.
did.
Yeah.
Wait, but now I have another question. Other than you, who do you feel like is most responsible for your success?
Probably my husband.
You keep bringing him up and
God, how
it warms
sweet
my
is that? I'm
heart.
jealous. I'm like, it's like an you're so good.
Love is
moment.
love and love is love.
I'm like, fine. You're right.
What-
I get it.
He's
Why-
always
why?
been very supportive of me.
Yeah.
Important.
And like in the very beginning, like when I was like, poor white trash with horrible credit, he would let me use his credit to get credit cards to like buy stuff for the company.
My
Wow.
heart.
And the very first week he paid the very first week we met, he paid my credit or my phone bill because it got shut off and he wanted to text me. So he used some of his student loan money to pay my cell phone bill.
That's an adorable
That's
story.
so-
yeah, I think it was a good investment.
Okay, look, can we get into Queer Eye?
Yes, please. I'm
Okay,
dying
let's
to
get into Queer
Eye.
Eye.
Yeah.
First of all, what do you enjoy filming more, season 1 or season 2?
So season 1 and season 2 were actually all filmed together.
Right.
So we just filmed 16 episodes at once. They were all intermingled in together. The only episode that was, I'm going to go closer because I sound better. The
sexy.
only episode that really was truly shown in the order it was shot was the very first episode.
That first
So
episode
Tom
is
really
literally
was our first
destroyed
episode.
I have a
Me.
theory that the first episode of Queer Eye is why it's going to have 9 seasons. You know what I mean? Like,
yes,
it like
I mean that first
launched
episode.
it.
That guy is like a beautiful spirit. It just totally killed
was
me.
so good.
I cried my eyes out. I
But
loved it.
I feel like there's some tea. Like, I feel like his like girls like probably not really in it with him, and like
Oh,
Oh no.
we don't have to get into it. Let's not ruin the illusion for everyone. But
Oh no.
No, I mean, our ultimate goal in the beginning was to find, like, Caramel's goal was to teach Tom how to date.
Yeah.
He actually
It's a
took
skill.
him around town and had him talk to women and learn how to talk to them and ask them out. And that ended up not making the episode because Tom was clearly so still in love with Abby that we're like, all right, well, this
Which
feels
is cute.
odd. Yeah, we're like, it feels odd that we're trying to like push him to be with somebody else when he's clearly not over
Obsessed with
her.
her.
So we're like, all right, let's see what's there.
Okay, but what I really want to know is like, what was the audition process like? Like, how did this happen?
oh my God, this is so.
Queer
I've
Eye.
wondered this.
Really?
yes. Like,
Okay, 'cause
how'd you hear about it? Like, was it competitive? Like, I mean, it must have been, right?
So you've seen the Hunger Games.
Yes.
yeah, where they kill each other,
And you've
right.
seen The Bachelor. It was kind of like that. No.
Bachelor's a trigger word for Rozzi.
I'm
That-
obsessed with
Oh,
Bachelor.
God.
We'll talk about it later anyway.
You know the one from Iowa? What was his name?
Chris.
Yeah, the
I
one
know
that like
everything.
ran over somebody on his tractor.
Yes.
The only reason why I know that is because my art director for Queer Eye literally flew from doing a huge remodel of his house in Iowa,
my God.
and all this media was flying there that morning, and all these sponsors, and it was going to be on TV. And then that night, I guess, I mean, allegedly, because I don't know if he's had his court date, so I'm going to say allegedly. Allegedly, he hit
God,
someone and
that's
killed them.
awful.
Because
Yeah, and
allegedly
was,
he had
like,
been drinking.
yeah.
No.
And
not
so
okay.
literally all these corporate sponsors like landed in Iowa and were like, nope, got back on their planes.
bad news.
And so my art director came from having done that. And he was like, oh my God, I've had the most crazy week.
That is
And-
bet.
Yeah.
so
Yes. So I
upsetting.
was like, oh, that's
Yes, well,
really one of
I-
those moments that you regret for the rest
I know
of your life.
facts about every Bachelor and Bachelorette back.
I've
until,
never
like,
seen it.
Okay,
20.
we're gonna like steer
so
away
back
from
to
Bachelor
Queer Eye.
right
Okay,
now.
sorry.
Because people who love Bachelor will go on for 45
I
minutes,
will,
and
but-
I'm just gonna cut it off right now. Okay, here's the deal. One thing I remember when Mark and I first started dating, he was like, I was just at the Abbey, and there was like people there who had been auditioning for Queer Eye in the finals, and all the people who didn't.
Literally the day you're talking about.
Yeah, all the people who didn't make it went to the
there.
Abbey and drank together.
Yeah, and they all kept
he was
texting
there
me to come, and I was like, no, I can't.
And Mark was like, it was all the Queer Eye rejects, like just getting drunk together.
No,
Not
don't
rejects.
say
That's
rejects.
a mean. No. That's a mean
I
word,
know,
of
I know
course.
what I
But the
mean.
people who didn't make the show, just like
Right.
Yeah, it was because it started out, I think, like 3,000 people auditioned.
So was it like an open call, like anyone can audition?
I guess I only
Did they
came
reach
in.
out to
I only
you
came in like the last 2
specifically?
weeks of the whole
They
process.
must have.
that's
They must
always
have.
how it is.
Did they see like
Yeah.
know you?
So
Right.
they reached out to my publicists.
Well, your job is very important. Like, I'm sorry. Like, some of the jobs are a little
It's the best part of the
more-
show. I'm just gonna say.
100% when
Aw,
the
thank
reveal.
you.
The reveal is the tear jerk moment. It's so beautiful.
When you redo someone's house, it's like an emotional fucking moment.
Well, because you realize like the importance of like this is cheesy, but like the importance of like a home. Like these
you
people
gotta be
like
comfortable where you are.
everything you do happens there, and it's everything. Like I love where I live, and that makes
weeks
everything.
of work for seconds of
Yes,
airtime.
no, but
Right.
it's the thing that lingers.
For
Like, I
seconds of
swear.
airtime. But you can't make guacamole.
That's true. So
I actually can. But Tom couldn't.
But Tom couldn't. Okay.
Okay, wait.
Okay, we're at 45 minutes. I do have a question.
no, wait, no,
Do we
wait.
do we have a question
Let
from
him
a caller?
tell us about the audition.
Oh, you're right.
process.
We're talking.
Tell us about the audition
Okay,
process.
I've realized that an issue with this podcast is we're going to only talk
We're
about each other.
narcissists.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to be. I was born this way.
All right, tell us about the audition process.
Tell us about this.
So they had me do a Skype interview with ITV Casting first, and that day, I was doing it at my house. And
Like, were you excited? Like, were you nervous? Like, what was your feeling?
I mean, I had been through some casting stuff before with other shows for like HGTV, and nothing
Right.
ever worked out. So I was like, whatever, I'm
Right.
not gonna get this. Well,
Right.
I'm sure I'll do it. Okay. And so I had like everything in the background all perfect, and then the power went out in my building, and I was like,
yeah.
Okay, whistle notes. Great. That was crazy.
It was amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. Sorry about that. And so I like frantically jumped in my car and I drove to my office as quick as I could. And I am like all hot and sweaty, and like the wall behind my desk is black. And so in front of it, I looked like powder. And it just was, yeah, you know what I'm saying? We have the same
You white boys, I
white
mean.
Texas skin. And I just thought it went horrible. I was like, oh, that was a mess. I'm never
Right.
doing that. And then I was in Palm Springs setting up a house I was partnering with Sonos to do for Modernism Week.
What's lit is you're like, I don't really need this. Like, I'm working, I'm busy, I have
that
a
was fun.
career.
Thank you, next.
Sing.
So my publicist got a call that they wanted me to come back in person for in-person auditions. They were bringing like the top 40 people from around the world to come in, all audition together.
Did you meet the other like interior people? Like,
Do y'all, like,
I
sit
walked
the
in and
lobby
I
together?
walked in and once there were in my category there were 5 or 6 of us, and I walked in and I like one of the people I like knew and I was friends with for years.
Right.
So I walk in and we're both like, no,
Right, yeah.
no, shit.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to like have to
Totally.
send your friend
God, I have so
home.
many questions.
And then there was other ones like we knew each other in the industry. There was a few of them I didn't know,
Yeah.
but like 2 or 3 of them that I did know. One
Yeah.
of them that I knew really well and I actually consider a friend. So it was like bittersweet when I walked in. I'm like, oh,
Right.
yeah, I get to hang out with him, but I'm eventually just gonna have to.
Okay,
go home.
that makes me curious.
Blood.
I'm like curious, like the furniture world, the interior design world. Is it a community? Like,
Yes, very much so.
You all know each other.
We
'Cause
all know
singers,
each other.
We all know each
Yeah,
other.
we all know
very
each other.
incestuous. You know, we've all worked for the same companies coming up
Right.
and used the same manufacturers. And yeah, because I mean, it's a small community, and
Yeah.
we have our trade shows that we deal with every year in like High Point,
Here's
North
my
Carolina.
question. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry, it's the same problem. No, but I always say like when it comes to like jealousy or competition, like if I think I am so happy for people when I
Same.
when I think they're. But hold on, not just sweeping. I have requirements. I'm so happy for people if I think they're good people, like they have good hearts and they're
Yes.
kind, and B, if they've worked hard and that they've been through
But
it.
people who've worked hard, you feel happy for them because
So
there's
happy.
enough
Agreed.
room at the top.
Yes.
It's
of
not like it's
course.
a
There is-
limited.
yes, there is enough for everyone. There is
100%.
enough success to go around.
But I just-
your success does not take away
At
from
all.
my success. I mean, if we're up from the
Exactly.
same show,
No, it helps.
a little. But
Yeah.
but overall, just like with the five of us,
Right.
And when the five of us, the Fab Five, people are like, "Oh, is it competitive? Are you guys always competing against each other?" I'm like, "No, there's enough out there for
For sure.
You each have
all
your
of
thing.
us.
For
Yeah,
sure.
we each have our thing.
And-
None of us step on each
And I'm
other's
sure you
toes.
help each other in a
Yes,
lot of ways.
absolutely.
Totally.
Okay,
Okay, you can kind of see my face.
these are the 3 questions we ask
Every guest.
every guest. And the first is, what is...
Not this limp pop culture thing. Let's put it over here.
Who needs it?
All right.
In my face.
Okay, we have 3 questions for you.
Okay.
Question
Okay,
1.
the first one is, what is success for you? What does success mean
Authentically,
to you?
what is success?
What is success?
For you, personally.
For me personally. God, you should have prepared me for this.
I know, we really didn't warn anyone.
I should have sent you a tag.
Yeah.
You're like an apple teeny. What is success to me? Success to me is being able to do something that you love and
Yep.
make
Yeah.
a living at it and help people. And, yeah, that's success. Like
You just
every
nailed
day
it.
getting up, doing something that you're happy
Yeah.
doing. And like, that's what you get to do for
That's
work.
exactly
Like,
what
Right, it doesn't feel like
Yeah.
a chore at
Right.
all. You're like,
it's
this.
cliche, like, oh, if you do something you love, you never work a day in your life. It's true.
Awesome.
Okay.
Number 2.
Number 2 is, what would you tell yourself at your lowest?
Like
myself at
Bobby
my
in his
lowest.
car. That wasn't supposed to be funny, but it came across funny.
Bobby in his car,
Not to
sleeping in the
trigger you.
Applebee's parking lot, waiting for his next
And that
shift.
story is
But
moving.
I'm being real. Like, what
Yeah.
would you tell that
Yeah.
person in his car that was like, I have no hope? What would you say to him?
I don't think I ever did not have hope.
Okay, great. Love that.
I mean, yes and no.
No, I'm not.
Don't give up.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
again, it sounds cliche, but it really is. Like, don't give up. Like, even if you don't know what you want to do, because God, I had no idea what I wanted to do.
Right.
I literally never saw myself where I am now. But just don't give up. If you want more, make more. Just keep going. It doesn't matter if
Yeah.
you don't have a direction. Just keep working hard.
Yeah.
And it will fall into your lap. Hard work will literally pay off. And it doesn't necessarily have to be the hard work in the industry that you're going to end up in. It just needs to be hard work.
Okay, third question.
Our third question is, what gossip can you share? And we will bleep anything.
Yeah,
if
any
you need us
name,
to.
anything you will believe.
I told a full
Mainly-
story. Just so you know, I told a full open story about Topher Grace.
Topher Grace called her
are
fat. Okay, so back to the question.
Yeah.
What is the gossip you have?
Any tea you can
There is
spell.
in
We gotta
the
warn
furniture
people.
world,
We gotta
in the
warn
queer
people
eye
in the
world,
future.
we don't need to get super shady, but like,
All right. Well, look, if you're a pure soul and you have no gossip
Oh,
for
I
us,
am not a pure soul.
well, we'll accept it.
should we wrap it up? I love you, Bobby. All right.
Thank you guys so much. We'll be back.
Thank you. We'll be
sometime.
back.
Love you. Bye.
Only 2 a day, because we know you drank too much by the end of 2.
Yeah. I've never been drunker ever. Okay, great.
Bye.